For more on last night's event, we'll bring in Congressman Reschenthaler from Pennsylvania. He also sits on the House Judiciary Committee and House Committee on Foreign Affairs. He's also an Iraq War veteran. Good to see you, Congressman. Thanks so much for coming on. I'm going to just dive right in with you because you just heard from our previous guest on his thoughts about it. Last night, Michelle Obama, their keynote, says Donald Trump is the wrong president for our country, end quote, among the many comments she has made. What were your overall thoughts about the DNC and that specific comment?
Well, Sean, Emma, thanks for having me on. You know, I think that last night it's very telling that Bernie Sanders was one of the speakers on the very first night. It shows just how far left this party has moved. And then the mainstream media is doing the bidding of the Democrat Party by saying that these individuals, Harris and Biden, are somehow moderate and pragmatic. That's nonsense. Kamala Harris wants to have a ban on fracking, which would kill hundreds of thousands, if not more, jobs in the United States. It would make us much more dependent on foreign oil and foreign energy. She also was one of the ones that put her hand right up on that debate stage when asked if she wanted to ban private health insurance through a Medicare for All program, basically robbing Americans of their choice to have private health insurance. Also, her hand went right up when asked if she believes that taxpayers should pay for taxpayer-funded health care for illegal immigrants. So this ticket is extremely far left. The mainstream media is trying to hide that. And what you saw last night was the Democrats trying to put this veneer of pragmatism over a far left radical agenda.
You got Bill Clinton tomorrow, Dr. Jill Biden tomorrow, former President Barack Obama on Wednesday. Then your headliner would be Joe Biden on Thursday. The RNC takes over next week. What will the RNC do differently?
Well, you're seeing one thing right now. While the Democrats are having this virtual convention, President Trump is out speaking to the people. He had a rally last night. So I think that Donald Trump is he's out there. Joe Biden is still hunkering down in his basement. He's speaking through surrogates. The Democrats are trying to hide Joe Biden. The Republicans, on the other hand, are supporting Donald Trump. We're elevating him as he goes out and holds these rallies. So there's a big difference. Donald Trump is out there. He's campaigning hard. Joe Biden continues to hide in his basement, and he continues to hide his true agenda, which is far left.
I want to get to the news of the day with you because Nancy Pelosi recalling the House, yourself, back to from what I understand, is it to vote on funding for the post office? Is it to block changes that would be made to the post office? What are your thoughts on that? What's going to get done?
Well, I think this is just a manufactured crisis, and it borderlines on a conspiracy theory, much like Russian collusion was an absolute conspiracy theory that was meant to distract. The Democrats are doing the same thing now with the U.S. Postal Service. You know, the U.S. Postal Service has $14 billion cash on hand. They've made $1.3 billion more than they did last year at this time because everybody is sending packages through the mail. Their revenue is through the roof. So this is a manufactured crisis for two reasons. One, Nancy Pelosi is trying to undermine the American belief in our election system. And in that, she's basically doing Russia's bidding. I just had to get that aside in there. She's also trying to distract from the news cycle. Think about last week's news cycle and earlier this week. You had President Trump signing a historic peace deal in a recognition between the United Arab Emirates and Israel. That can't be overstated. That's the most important development in the Middle East in the last 20 or 25 years, and it's eventually going to lead to Saudi Arabia recognizing Israel as well. So she doesn't want that to be in the news cycle. She also doesn't want to get the good economic numbers and the good job numbers in the news cycle. The S&P 500 is approaching record highs. The job numbers are much better than anticipated. So in order to dominate the news cycle with something negative on President Trump, Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats and the mainstream media, they manufacture this crisis, and the facts just don't support this ridiculous conspiracy theory.
Do you think we'll see a relief bill anytime soon or a stimulus check anytime soon by the House or Congress, rather, or does this get done by the president?
Well, the president had to take action before and use what he had delegated to him in the CARES Act to get relief to the American people. You know, if Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats really cared about the American people, we would have been called back in last week. We'd be in D.C. right now trying to negotiate a package. They're really at this point about messaging and trying to undermine our faith in the upcoming election because they know they can't beat Donald Trump head on.
That is Congressman Guy Reschenthaler of Pennsylvania. Congressman, always good to see you. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks, Sean.